This is ridiculous. Perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prattling in your own time? Well, Miss Brett... Oh, of course, dear lady, of course. How rude of us. I'm quite sure there's no need to detain you any longer at all. May the esteemed gentlewoman please be excused, Your Excellency? Indeed. The theft of the Coven was clearly perpetrated by this baby-saddled sergeant. It would certainly appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder. Of course it is. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat. The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. Nonsense, is it? Well, oof. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. Very well, now that all questions concerning this witness testimony have been answered, I see no further justification for detaining her. Miss Brett, you are free to leave. Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone. Okay, das hat uns nicht weitergebracht. And good day. Kleiner Sideplot am Rande, aber es hat uns nicht weitergebracht. Aber Ryunosuke sieht aus, als ob er gerade eine Erkenntnis hätte. Ryunosuke, what's the matter with you? This is no time for daydreaming. Oh, no, it's just... Something went about Miss Brett's parting words that got me thinking. I can't quite work out what exactly, but something she said jarred with me. Was hat sie denn gesagt? Good day. Good luck, everyone. I feel like there was a contradiction in there somewhere. Something didn't quite add up. If that's the case, don't just stand there thinking. Make your voice heard. Sorry? You can think later, but if you don't call out now, it'll be too late. The trial will be over.
Hold it!
Wait, Miss Brett! What is it now? I'm afraid, just one last time. There's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words from just a few moments ago. Was hat sie denn gesagt? What are you talking about? What contradiction?
Objection!
What new student nonsense is this? Well, what parting words are you talking about, Ryunosuke? Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. Huh? Yes, I'm right. What she said there exposed an undeniable contradiction. I'm going to need to see evidence, Counsel. If Miss Brett's words truly are contradictory, where is this evidence to prove it? Keine Ahnung. Erstmal saven. Hier. Weil da Messer und Gabel sind.
Take that!
The photographic print of the scene taken immediately after the incident occurred. What's interesting is the plate of steak that you can see on the victim's table. The steak that Miss Brett had been eating before the professor was killed, yes. Go on. More accurately, Your Excellency. The steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed. Now you are just splitting hairs. Not true. Doesn't something about the steak strike you as very unnatural? Unnatural? What on earth do you mean? It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten. I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett. Noticed what exactly, Counsel? Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed. No Englishman could even contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork. Of course she did. She's a refined English gentlewoman herself. Then take a good look at this steak. In particular the edge where it's been eaten. As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks there. Ah! Oh! Ah! It looks like Miss Brett has realized something. So, if the witness, as she claims, wouldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork. Okay. Ist völlig was anderes gedacht, aber okay. There shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all.
Objection!
But, what is your actual point? Perhaps the delightful Miss Brett was ravenously hungry and couldn't help her. Oh, whatever you say, dear lady. As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer. Of course, this will all be over in the blink of an eye. Rest assured, I am about to put this rookie in his place. I've heard enough. You irritating little spectacle samurai relic. Of course. Dear lady. What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers? Clearly, the witness knows what this means. She's realized the catastrophic implications these teeth marks in the steak have for her. Ryunosuke, what do you mean do you know where you're going with this? Ich hab keine Ahnung. Yes, now at last, it's all come together. The mysterious teeth marks in a steak that had allegedly been eaten with cutlery. The reason why the bloodstain I know I saw somehow seems to have disappeared. And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day. I accept that these teeth marks in the steaks are a little unnatural, as you put it, counsel. But what exactly are you suggesting that tells us? Everything, Your Excellency. Everything! Yes, I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson.
Shut up!
Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning of the phrase. Typical Japanese empty threats. How can you be so sure? Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago. Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet. Hasn't been? What? But just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist.
Objection!
Was meint er? Ich komm gar nicht mit gerade. This is absurd. The trial has run several hours already, and you say there's evidence yet to be brought forward? There can't be. I don't believe you have it.
Objection!
I don't, but there's someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. And if that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve every remaining mystery about this case. Very well. I have a feeling this will be my last request for the defense in this trial. Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth about this whole affair? Ich habe keine Ahnung. Ich habe absolut keine Ahnung. Sie? Einfach?
Take that!
Counsel, I'm disappointed, as it is likely your last chance. Would have expected you to be taking it more seriously. Ah. Okay. Hä? I don't get it. Er oder was? Weil er die Investigation durchgeführt hat.
Take that!
The answer is obvious. It's Inspector Hosonaga. What? I have it? Yes. You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous. Kommt jetzt raus, warum er hustet, oder was? No. I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on the stake with the teeth marks. Yes. Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I'd enjoyed chomping my way through a good steak, and as well as admitting to stealing Korikuta-san's coin, he told us that he slipped it under the steak. You watch it, cadet. I'm a superior officer. Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? What a steak that you put the coin under. In fact, your own steak. Teen-chan! Affirmative, of course. I might be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. Ah, okay. Deswegen ist kein Blut drauf, weil das Nosas Steak ist. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'd mind me handling her meal to hide something in it. In other words, the steak that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal.
Objection!
But that makes no sense! That plate was taken from the victim's table.
Objection!
Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have any opportunity to steal the coin. Okay, ja doch, ich sehe, also, ja, ich verstehe es. Also, es muss das Steak bei dem anderen sein, weil sie ja nicht, kein Steak mit der Hand isst, weil sie ja Englisch ist, natürlich, und die Engländer machen sowas nicht. Of course I didn't steal it. Und das bedeutet dann, dass das andere Steak mit dem Blutfleck, mit dem Bloodstain, nicht eingereicht wurde, das aber wahrscheinlich existiert. Okay. To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire. Well then, how do you explain this paradox? Exactly. Surely you're not going to suggest that the sergeant switched the two steaks over. You did switch the plates. Well, after it happened, okay, hat die ausgewechselt, die Platten. When I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my steak and hid the coin underneath it. But then, when the waiter announced he was an undercover policeman, I thought I'd had it. If he decided to investigate my slab of meat, that'd be it. I'd be getting my marching orders. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance. Warum? With military precision and timing, I switched my steak with the one on the foreign lady's table. What? You can't have. I never saw you do such a thing. It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did what had to be done. Unbelievable. However, fear not, prosecutor-son. What now? I swear on the breast buttons of my uniform, that is all I did, sir. All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant.
Yes!
So, if Sergeant Nosa switched the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table. Yes, that follows. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes. Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's stake after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That to preserve evidence, you had taken both. Ah! That's correct. Then please present it to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot! Let's go! What can that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat? It can't have the slightest bearing on the case.
Objection!
No, you are not wriggling your way out of this time, lady. I beg your pardon? Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why the stake plan promises to prove such a problem for you, no? You are the ones who decided it was a problem, not me. The reason the defense asked to see that plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing. Things he remembers. I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear spattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett. Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to the court. Present the beefsteak and plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident. Oh, die Musik, geil! Yes, sir! Da ist Blut, ich sehe es doch schon. Sorry for keeping you. Here's the other steak and its plate. Please, feel free to examine it. Oh yeah, the bloodstain. It's clearly visible, look.
Yes!
Now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that at the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim. Ah! It can't be! In fact, there's only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. That's right. Miss Giselle Brett. It's you! Damn, die Animation, nice. Outdone. By a Japanese? Me? By a Japanese schoolboy? No. No. No! Es tut mir leid. She ascends to heaven, oder was? Als ob. Hä? Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. Most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me. Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth this time. Gladly, Your Excellency. It was I who took the professor's life, using Kiwari. As you surmise, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his keys in the morning. So you planned to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water, because curare is unheard of here in Japan. Yes, of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water and it would all be over. I would place the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he had been dining alone, and leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table. That would be me, I suppose. Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact that you decided to come over to greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair such as that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point, so I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment. A plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man. I happened to know that the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of curare in my handbag, and my own pistol concealed under my skirt. Under your skirt? Unter ihrem Rock, okay. So I was right, there were two guns. Yes. And then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor. Placed where you were sure that I would notice it. And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun as I'd intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up, that's when you shot the professor with your own gun, even though at that point he was already dead. Naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared. Obviously, I assumed Naruhodo-san was a culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside. Pantry war Speisekammer. That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor and his chair around. Because, of course, you needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he'd picked up the gun. Damn, die Wahrheit. So there you have it. That is the entirety of my Misdemeanor. Misdemeanor, ja, Fehlverhalten, ja moin. Bisschen mehr als das. Your Excellency. Yes? I wonder. Might I speak with you in private later? I shall call on you. Thank you. Good day then, everyone. Warum sollte sie privat mit ihm sprechen? I hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san. Puh. It would seem this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement. This can't be. Taketsushi Aochi does not lose. Not to the likes of this rookie student. You'd better start getting used to tough opposition. Ah, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. What? Yes? This insight to the Aochi family name will never be forgotten. You've become conceited with age, Council, but the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. Alles klar. Nice. Samurai-Anwalt. 1,000 millennia may pass, and still, the Yaoshi clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo clan. Das stimmt, weil Phoenix macht Winston Payne ja auch immer fertig. Kalt, wollte ich sagen. Macht Winston Payne auch immer kalt. This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case. I thank you, Your Excellency. The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world. But the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future of law awaits, but what it will look like, I cannot begin to imagine. That is for the young to pursue. Für Phoenix. Beziehungsweise erstmal für Ryunosuke. Kazuma Asogi. Yes? After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey to discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can, absorb everything of the wider world that you are able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you. Welche Mission? I understand, Your Excellency. What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden? Ah, never mind. As for you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Yes. In you, I sense, how can I put it, unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards. Thank you, Your Excellency. It is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, not guilty. Yeah! Poggers in chat, ja! Es gibt keinen Chat, aber trotzdem, Poggers in Chat, Leute, Poggers! This court is now adjourned. Damn. Was ein langer Fall für ein erster Fall. Also die anderen ersten Fälle, alle die ich bisher gespielt habe, auch von den späteren Teilen, sind alle nicht so lang wie dieser hier. Das waren ja jetzt schon, 6 Stunden? Fast. Ja, 5,5 bisher, aber fast 6. Ist ja fast ein ganzer Fall. Krass. 22nd November, 2:46 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendants Antechamber 5. I can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it. I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial. Ryunosuke. You finally pulled it off. Congratulations. Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma. No, it was a pleasure to watch you at work. So, you owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on University Street, don't forget. Good afternoon. All your hard work was certainly paid off. Ach, Susato. Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruhodo-san's innocence. Ah, our trusty judicial assistant. You worked hard for that result too, you know? Oh no, I didn't do any... Thank you so much! If we hadn't had that research report of Miss Brett's, I don't know how things would have turned out. Your kind words should really be for my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate. Your father? Ah, yes, of course. Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense. Speaking of Mikotoba... Ah, there you are. I believe congratulations are in order. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job. Thank you, Professor. Oh no, it is I who should be thanking you. After all, your efforts exposed the true criminals that took the life of my good friend. Good friend? Oh yes, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yumei University, wasn't it? Yes, that's right. Professor Mikotoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably, that's when you met Dr. Wilson. Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital. Oh, you worked together? I've never heard you mention that before. Well, it was a long time ago now. Besides, it's your turn, Asogi. Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world. In science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course, in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot. I will. I'll learn all that I can. I swear on this, the spirit of the Asogi clan. You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you? Of course I am. A Japanese man's katana is his soul. This blade shows me where I need to go. And cuts down anything that's in my way. Yes, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes. That reminds me, what's happened to the woman? To Josiah Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder. Ah yes, her. It's not easy to tell you this, but... What do you mean? Surely she's going to face trial herself now. She's the true culprit after all. She will be leaving Japan in the very near future. For Shanghai. Bitte was? What? Shanghai? Josiah Brett will not appear in court again in this country. I'm certain of that. What? But why not? It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. Was heißt konsularisch? Warte mal, konsular. Wer hat das gesagt? Konsularisch, ja. Achso, okay. Inspector Hosonaga. It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. I must congratulate... But what's that all about consular jurisdiction? Und jurisdiction is Rechtsprechung. We cannot try this particular foreigner for crimes here in Japan. What? We can't try her? But then who? Who's going to bring her to justice? A British consular court will hear her case, somewhere far away where our voices can't be heard. But why a consular court? Professor, I simply don't understand. Warte mal. Consular Court. Konsularisch. Consular Jurisdictions. Konsulargerichtsbarkeit. Okay. I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now that we've signed the friendship treaty. Yes, in normal circumstances, you are right. Then, so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature to our respective governments. They can't invoke a consular court just like this. Ich google mal kurz die Definition von Konsular. Also irgendwas Internationales. Relating to of the nature of a consul or a consul's office of duties. Was ist ein Konsul? Warte mal. Consul. An official appointed by a state to live in a foreign city and protect the state's citizens and interests there. Okay. Also irgendwas Internationales, mehr oder weniger. Oh, can't they? Yes, she's a student, but it doesn't justify our government's making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on. So Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan. I'm afraid that for the young student. Today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger of comeuppance for her. I don't believe it. The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They are obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously. But it's all going to change from now on. We can make a change. This is a time of great turmoil, this new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves. Yes, change is coming, and we are the ones driving it. Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for a celebratory drink. But Professor... You're right, this is no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun. In that case, might I suggest La Carnival? As the head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink. You're a detective, Hosonoga-san, aren't you? Let's not worry about details von... Warum blutet er die ganze Zeit aus seinem Mund? Ist das einfach sein zu starker Husten? Das solltest du mal untersuchen lassen. Ich dachte, das wird noch irgendwie relevant für den Fall, aber scheinbar nicht. To La Carnival, will you accompany us, Professor? Of course, La Carnival's food is second to none. I shall go and attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release. Oh yes, thank you. Die Papierarbeit. So Giselle Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Kazuma. Yes, Ryunosuke? I just wanted to say thanks again, that's all. You really saved my skin today. Ha 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 ha! I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work. Your skills made a difference though. One day I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world. I'm not so sure about that. To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you are the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me. Well, come on, be serious. If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it, for being a defense lawyer, I mean. Oh no, not me. All that tense verbal combat? I never want to go through that ever again. I did what you told me to do, that's all, because I knew I could trust you. That's the point. Sorry? What do you mean, that's the point? Listen, Ryunosuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win? Knowledge of the law? No, the ability to believe. To believe. To believe what? A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times. wie Mia es uns einst gelehrt hat. Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it. I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But I have to make a choice about what I believe in and stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom, you can really be backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful to what you choose to believe in, even then, well, that's not something that anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person. Believing in your client. Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience, but you never stopped believing in me. Well, you face seemingly hopeless situations time and time again, but you never stopped looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it, through your own efforts, and because you never stopped believing in me. Thanks, Kazuma. There's something I want to ask you actually, Ryunosuke. Okay, was kommt jetzt? Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me. It sounds serious. What is... Ah, you're still here, are you? Oh, Inspector Hosonaga. I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go. Rickshaws, sind das nicht diese Laufwagen, die immer noch in Indien benutzt werden? Ich glaube schon, irgendein Transportmittel ist das. Thank you, we'll be right there. Let's pick up this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory. And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget. Ah yes, that too. So my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma, Professor Mikotoba, Susato-san, who acted as my assistant, Inspector Hosonaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still. It was because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through the trial. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize just how much it would change my life. And vom ersten Fall zumindest. Awarded, Defense Debut, nice. Save your current progress, yes. Gut, dann würde ich sagen, das war's dann erstmal, zumindest für diese Aufnahmesession. Wir spielen in der nächsten Episode, Episode 2, The Adventure of the Unbreakable Speckled Band. Was ist denn Speckled? Ist Speckled nicht irgendwie gefleckt? Oh, Speckled? Gesprenkelt, ja. Und Band ist einfach Band, ne? Ja, Band. Okay, das ist das unbrechbare oder unzerstörbare gesprenkelte Band. was das bedeuten soll, werden wir wohl sehen. Ich sehe ja schon einen sehr interessanten Charakter da im Schatten. Und ja, erstmal zu diesem Fall. Ich bin sehr, sehr überrascht, wie lange der doch ging. Als Episode. Lässt mich ein bisschen befürchten, dass die anderen Episoden noch länger gehen. Aber mal gucken, das muss ja nichts Schlechtes sein. Und ja, ihr könnt gerne schreiben, wie ihr den ersten Fall fandet, in die Kommentare. Und ja, das lese ich mir dann gerne durch, falls ihr was schreibt. Und wir sehen uns ansonsten im nächsten Part wieder. Oh Gott, ich möchte gar nicht wissen, wie viele Parts der erste Fall jetzt schon hat. Aber ja, okay. Vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen. Vielen Dank fürs Dabeisein. Und wir sehen uns beim nächsten Mal wieder. Bis dann. Ciao, ciao. Bis morgen. Tüdelü und Einspruch. Haha. Bis dann. Ciao, ciao.